Got something to write. Let me invite our good brother to join us. Okay, everybody is hopping on and joining us for this interview. Let me invite Jihad right now. All right, Jihad. We are inviting you right now. I'm getting excited. Hey.
Okay, dear sister, I'm gonna try to turn this. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm gonna try to turn this camera around.
Okay. While you doing it, hey Johanna, hey Amanda, hey everybody that's joining us. We are interviewing my good classmate tonight, and we are about to enlighten y'all on some great things he is doing. All right, I think we can see you. Hey, how you doing?
Peace and love, sister. How you doing?
I can't complain. I'm here in Philadelphia. It's raining, and this is my type of weather.
Look, it's been raining off and on in Pine Bluff, and so we had the challenges of the streets flooding, but we're doing what we can. Yeah, it's been raining off and on. Started yesterday, and I was in Little Rock yesterday actually, and I was looking at some of the people that were showing pictures on Facebook. A lot of streets were flooded. A lot of people's cars got trapped. Some homes kind of flooded out. So, yeah.
Oh my God, sorry to hear that. Oh, that is really sad to hear. Oh yeah, this rain, it definitely has made its way up here to Philadelphia, and it's been raining all day. But I love it because we got out of school early all last week because of the heat. It was extremely hot, so I'm not complaining.
Okay.
So tell us
a little
what's
relief
going
with the
on
rain for you all.
I'm sorry.
I said a little relief for the rain with you all.
Yeah, I agree. I'm loving it, and we off tomorrow. So everybody's joining us is my classmate, my good brother Jihad, who is just doing some amazing things in Pine Bluff. And I wanted him to come on tonight and shine some light on what he's doing, because it's been a lot going on in Pine Bluff. And not often do you get to hear about the good. We always hear about the bad. So tell us real quick, what do you do and what's going on in your world?
Well, sister, actually, I am the executive director of Arkansas Reentry and Prevention Initiative. And what we're doing currently is we serve as a resource for those who have been incarcerated. So as our brothers and sisters come out, there are certain needs that they have that need to be met in order to make sure that they have a smooth transition back into society. And we try to help them meet those needs. You have brothers who are coming out and they have challenges with housing and clothes, getting transportation and jobs. And so we try to work the best way we can with those who are in the community to make sure that those needs are met. And the second project I'm working on with Reverend Johnny Smith, who is the pastor of Shalom Missionary Baptist Church, is the Rejoice program. That is a program that we're working with in the Delta, along with Pastor Cal Woodred and Pastor Jerome Turner in Phillips County, to kind of improve the health of African Americans throughout the Delta. As you know, when you look in the Delta, despite this being a rural area, we have some of the most challenging health problems among Black people in this part of the country. And so we were blessed to get a $2.5 million grant.
Wow.
And we're working to kind of improve the health of our people through the church. So how do we take the Bible and how do we use that to improve the mental health of our people? A lot of times we talk about people have these sayings, we're too blessed to be stressed and all that, but that's not the case. Our people who are in church, our people who are in the mosque, the study God, the synagogue, they're suffering from health challenges that come from our mental issues that we have. And so we're trying to do the best we can to address those issues. And of course, this is a pilot program.
Okay.
So what we actually do is we bring in churches. Those churches are select two what we call Rejoice leaders. They go through specific training designed through UAMS.
Okay.
And then they actually take those members of the congregation and those from the community through an 8-week process
Okay.
that allows them to better get a better grips and better understanding how to use the Bible to deal with emotional issues.
So what churches are currently involved?
In Pine Bluff, we have well, let me say this: we have our goal is to recruit a total of 24 churches throughout the Delta.
And that includes the whole $2.5 million grant over what time frame?
It's over a 5-year period.
Okay.
And so we have already been working, and the thing is to recruit. I think it's 12 churches in the northern part of the state, the northern part of the Delta, and then there's 12 in the southern part.
Okay.
Now in Pine Bluff, we have Muhammad Study Group that is participating, and we also have Mount Carmel that's under Pastor Craig that's participating. But you have to understand we're touching several different counties and trying to do this, and we're dealing with several different churches. And so those churches, once those rejoicery leaders identified by the pastor and they get their initial training, then they have the responsibility to go out into the community and to recruit a minimum of about 10 people to participate. And so once they go through the in the process of them going through those 8 weeks, there are assessments done to determine whether the program is actually helping them.
Okay.
And
what's included in the program? So the 24 churches, they all become rejoiceful leaders. What exactly is accomplished through the program for the people? What's being done? Are they getting like health assessments, blood pressure checks? Like what exactly is taking place?
No, basically what they're doing is it's an emotional health study, and we're trying to see as they go through the curriculum that I personally don't have. I'm a community outreach for the southern part of the state. So these rejoice leaders, they get training that I don't even have.
So is on mental health? This is more mental health therapy counseling.
Yeah, more.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes. I like that because, I think that's important. A lot of times, especially I like that, it's connected to the churches, because a lot of times we go to the churches looking for that healing, therapy, counseling. So I like that connection. How long have you been involved in this project?
Oh, I've been involved in this project for, I guess, about 2.5, 3 years now.
Wow.
Because it actually came out of the 10,000 man conference that Reverend Smith did at the convention center. There were several projects that came out of that.
Okay.
And this was one of the projects that we were able to connect with UAMS and do.
That is so cool. Guys, we are talking to Jihad.
We actually got this project approved at the last minute. Dr. Tiffany Haynes, who is a Black female who is a doctor, actually turned in the paperwork 20 minutes before the deadline. And when you're talking about, a lot of people don't understand, when you're talking about grant projects,
proposals,
there are a lot of people putting in proposals to get whatever money is developed, whatever money funding is out there. And these proposals are graded. So there's someone, or there's a committee that looks at all of these projects that is asking for X amount of dollars, and they grade these projects. And those who get the highest grades, they're usually the ones who get the grant. Of course, that's right.
It's true.
And so this sister did an excellent job. She works hand in hand with Dr. Kanisha Bryant, who is also a sister that's a doctor at UAMS. She wrote an amazing grant where she was awarded $1 million to help African Americans upgrade their degree in nursing.
Wow.
So she wanted to take African Americans who had a 4-year degree in nursing and get them a master's degree. But we had great challenges finding Black people in Arkansas to give the money to.
Wow.
And so, I mean, even sometimes when the money is there and it's available for community projects, sometimes it's difficult getting the money out there. I'll give you another example. There's a sister in Arkansas who was doing stamp out smoking, and she received a bunch of money. And her project was to get the churches um, to sponsor Stamp Out Smoking in their church. And so they was going to pay the churches to teach anti-smoking classes and to promote it at the church, et cetera, and et cetera. And she told me that her most difficult problem was dealing with some of the preachers in Jefferson County. And I hear this all the time from the different workshops and conferences I go in, that our people in Pine Bluff are very unique and very difficult to deal with at times. But I mean, there's some funding out there for people who are doing community work. You have to be tied in, just to be honest with you. You have to know what's it, and you have to have those people on your team that really know how to write good grants,
grant writers,
and then doing follow-ups. Because
that is so true. I want to network with you on anything that you want to send, that you want to get out. You can definitely send to me, and I can definitely put it in the newsletter. It goes out to over 3,000 people, because I think you're absolutely right. I keep hearing that too. A lot of times that there's a lot of money and grants right there in Arkansas for African Americans, but people aren't taking advantage of them. And I also think some of that is lack of information and lack of understanding information too. You know, there's no way that money that was available for smokers from multiple churches should have went back, especially if the money is available, all because people don't want to take the time to listen and cooperate. And I do keep hearing that. I know when I was in Arkansas this summer, my aunt told me she remember reading in the paper. She comes down from California a lot. She said she remember reading in the paper, there's a gentleman who tried to start a church partnership where it was supposed to go towards a development for a kids community center. And he wanted to collect $1,000 per church. He had the hardest time collecting $1,000 from churches.
Yeah, I mean, it's very challenging, sister. You know, you have the smallest churches who have the least membership. They are the ones that are stretching themselves thin, trying to do the most, and they don't really have the resources. Some of these churches that are small, if they don't take in the money, enough money to pay the lights, water, gas, rent, whatever the case is, then the pastor or the first lady, they're coming out of their pocket from their household. So, like I said, those who have the resources are really, from my perspective, doing the least. And those who don't have the resources are really, really stretching themselves to try to make ends meet.
So how can churches better unify so that some of these problems can get resolved? Because, you know, one of the biggest issues that a lot of people talk about is why there are so many churches and so many problems and not enough churches stepping up. What do you think churches can do to unite, to step up in the community?
Well, I think that our younger people, particularly those who have been on the streets and who have come out of the street life, they have to be empowered by the elders who are in the church. The elders who are in the church have oftentimes overlooked those people who have the talent to push the church forward. And so I think that there's a mindset that has to be broken, that the pastor doesn't know everything and doesn't have all the solutions. And he has to be spiritually mature enough, or she has to be spiritually mature enough to look throughout the congregation and see those who have talent and put them to work doing what needs to be done. I think that's one of the biggest things. Another thing is you have to challenge your pastor to do better and to be better. I say that not just with the church, but even in the mosque and our study groups and in the masjid with the Muslims. We have to challenge our leadership to be better and to do better and to be more involved. Those who have resources now, who are getting resources, they are people who have been in the community for years, and they are those who go to meetings. This is why going to community meetings is important, because you make the connection to people who have the resources, who don't mind helping.
You're right.
If you sitting at your church or you sitting at home and you think that resources are going to come to you, it's not going to work. I'm going to tell you, I got out of prison in 2006, April 2006. The first 17 days I was out, I worked with a pastor who was a politician. I worked helping him get reelected. 17 days later, I got a job. I've been in the community working ever since April of 2016.
Wow.
There were times, this 2006, there were times, dear sister, that I had to come out of my pocket for travel and for things to help people. And one of the challenges we have with young people who want to be community activists, who want to help in the community, you got to understand this, that in order to get what you need, you got to sacrifice on the front end.
Yep.
And I can give no better example than the example of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, that he was a man, when he met his teacher, he had 10 cents in his pocket. And he reached in his pocket in 1930 and gave the last 10 cents he had. And then he submitted himself to a process for 3 years and 4 months that allowed him to become the greatest Black leader in America that we've ever seen. And so in terms of becoming a community activist or becoming one in leadership, that sacrifice on the front end is very important. There was times when I didn't know whether I was going to be able to make ends meet, because at the height of my trying to do community work, my sister passed, and I already had a young family, and that meant I had to take on her 2 twin boys. And hell, at the time, I had to resort to welfare. People didn't know it, but I resorted to welfare. When I was first able to sit down and talk to Minister Farrakhan, one of my greatest concerns that I had actually 4 questions in my head that he answered before I even opened my mouth.
Wow.
So one of the things was about finances, because you cannot commit to full-time community work like it needs to be committed to and take care of your family if you don't have income coming in. A lot of our brothers are working jobs 8, 10, 12 hours a day, and those jobs are taking the best of your time away. And so the question of funding always comes up. Then the minister said to me, he said, son, don't worry about the money. He said, do the work and the money will come. And I will tell you, 12 years, I've been doing whatever I can.
Wow.
And I have never went without, sister. You know, when my sister passed away, she didn't have any insurance, and we didn't have money to bury her. But I tell you, I got in my car one day, and I was going to Walmart determined to get my nephews something to wear, and I didn't have a dime in my pocket. Before I got to Walmart, I had the money that I needed. I had one of the Christian brothers had me come over and gave me a tank of gas. I had somebody else call me and gave me some money before I got there.
Look at that.
So within an hour, I had what I need, because why? I'm in the community working. If people see you in the community working, they will give, they will help, they will support.
I have to say, you are absolutely right. Latasha Tarka said that people that have struggled are more powerful in pushing the agenda because they are no longer ashamed. It's true. Do the work and the money will come. Tasha, you're absolutely right. And Jihad, first of all, I definitely tip my hat off to you because you're doing the work unapologetically, just doing it. You know, a lot of people, like you said, that's the reason why we're so far behind the 8 ball, because we're waiting to get paid to do some things that we should just step up and do rather than waiting to get paid. Look how you got right out of being incarcerated and walked right into a job. That's huge.
But you know, sister, those who are going to do the work and going to be successful in making some change are those who feel obligated to the community. You know, and at 14 years old, I took a man's life in this city. And when I started studying the teachings of Honorable Elijah Muhammad and understanding the legacy of our struggle as a people and understanding our ongoing Holocaust, it put something in my heart to love our people. And when you have love in your heart for our people, you can't see our people suffering and not try to do something to relieve them of their suffering. But it comes with knowing our struggle. And it comes with understanding our struggle. And when we know our struggle and we understand our struggle, we will have the empathy in our heart to go out and to try to do something for our people.
It's true.
And every move is not a successful move. There are some failures. There are some challenges. And I listen to the minister all the time when he talk about in his 60+ years of struggling for our people that sometimes you want to give up. You want to throw the towel in. There are many times that he came out in the public and told us that he's not going to speak again, and then you look up and he's out because you can't see your people suffer and lay it down and not do what you can do to help our people.
It's so true.
I don't care. Look, and I don't give a damn how old you is. He's 80-some years old. I hear some brothers say, well, hell, I'm in my 60s now. That man is 80-some years old.
He look good.
Has tremendous health challenges, and he's still on the battlefield working to try to save our people from the hell that we eat.
And he is speaking the truth. Roger said truth.